Hang tight, guys. Hang tight. Excuse me. Never mind the counter there. We're gonna get started sooner than that. Just kind of needed a placeholder while I went pee. How is everybody doing? It's been a hot minute, and lots of things have gone on. So I'm gonna wait for some of y'all to tune in, and then we'll kind of talk about some of the stuff that's gone on. I think a lot of you know what the main thing will be about, and then kind of just moving forward, just moving forward really. It's just yeah, I don't know what to really say, but I'll wait for some of y'all to tune in. In the meantime, I shall say hello to some of you lovely folks. Scooby-Doo, how you doing? Great to have you. Sorry, been a long day. Alexandre Chagas, I think that's how you say it. Greetings, buddy. Matthew Greider, how you doing, man? Hope you're doing all right. Thanks, Josh. Good to be here. I don't know, kind of, not that I felt the need to go live, just kind of wanted to. Hopefully I don't end up crying. Man, it's been, this past month has just been something else. Woo, we'll dive into that here in a moment. Lily V, hey, glad to see you. Good to see you too. Glad to have you. Scooby-Doo says Matt. Hi, Scooby-Doo. I'm awful with names. I know you've emailed me and we've kind of talked about like action steps and whatnot, but I'm just awful with names. You're an amazing person. We are here for you. Hello to you, Matt. Thank Big Goozer. Let's see how else we got here and just kind of see. Okay, we've got about 30 eyes on everything. Tommy, how are you doing? Matt, you have to move forward. We love you, babe. I appreciate it, Tommy. Love you too, man. Of course, I've got to move forward. And we'll just, let's see who else we got here. Josh, stay strong. I appreciate it. Let's go, brother. You got this. Is Albert Vasquez. Rybeat says, hey, Matt. Juan, man, I got to meet Juan for the first time at the Shannon's wake. And, man, I'm sorry that was how we met, but, I guess it is what it is. So, Michael J, love your videos. Boo, Raya's here. Denise, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, hit the thumbs up, and excuse me if I keep saying and dumb. I really don't have any particular plan aside from to talk about the obvious. Shannon passed away this past August 4th. Was a Thursday. And personally, I'm going to try and not revisit some of the details about her passing, just because it's still very fresh, very emotional. But as these past 6 months, I know you guys have really have been rooting for us, and we had hope she would get better. And there was a point in time where it seemed like it, you know. We were going to Austin doing like live screen printing stuff. She was kind of in and out of the office, and it was still very understandable that she was recovering from everything. So it seemed. So I let her do her thing. She wanted to come into the office. That was cool. And when she did come into the office, I was very grateful for it. And we've had some great times with her here in the office, and just the general overall vibes. These past 16 months have been really hectic especially for Shannon, you know. Man, I've just still can't believe it that she passed, and just kind of moving forward with, golly, I need me a drink of water or something. Excuse me. So I guess kind of long story short, you guys know that she got sick. We got the larger shop, really just kind of threw things together. My main focus was to get her better, in which we went to the hospital many times. Y'all's donations definitely helped at that time to keep us from sinking. We greatly appreciate that. It took some of the stress off of our shoulders during that time. And so my main focus was really on her with the whole business, the YouTube aspect of things. There was always that hope that, you know, she's going to get better and we're just going to get right back to it and kind of pick up where we left off. And in that 16-month time, Mario just, as soon as we moved the shop, Mario just stopped showing up. Really could have counted on him sticking around and helping us pull through. Michelle stuck around for a while and then eventually took another job opportunity, which I know we've talked about it in the past. And rather than them kind of like really stepping up, and because I don't think there was a real good understanding that the sky was the limit with everything going on here, but also when it's not their baby. Although I had, you know, there was an offer for like profit sharing stuff like that. Certainly myself as one person could only do so much. So in order to grow things, I do have to rely on people on a team. So over the past 16 months, it was just like back down to Shannon and I. Really back down to me, because she'd help a little bit and I was back to doing all the grunt work and all that stuff. So it was kind of back and forth between the hospital stuff, and over these past 16 months, there was just, I really feel like everything Shannon and myself had worked hard for kind of really just went out the window. And I know because we weren't posting, and I really wasn't going to document what was going on with her health. You know, if we had something cool going on and she happened to be at the office, cool, there's Shannon, the shop gnome, you know. So I wasn't as active as, for, you know, obvious reasons. I just wasn't active with the whole YouTube thing, much less the business side of things. Because, I mean, to me, it wasn't just, the business was, you know, it wasn't the most important thing at the moment. So business kind of tanked, and was just hoping she would pull through. The liver transplant thing would happen, and a month, I'd say like right around the beginning of July, I personally, Shannon was already just kind of in pain, couldn't keep things down, and it had been such a long process where it's like I was just ready for her to get better. Not that you could force anything, but mentally I was starting to just kind of wear down from it, and had to go seek help myself from a therapist. Just had like a full-blown anxiety attack. Just had to call a friend over. Had to call a lifeline and have a friend come over, which I was very grateful that they came over and gave me some some perspective. And I was like, dude, you need to, right now, you can't even take care of yourself, much less Shannon. So I went to the doctor, got meds, went to therapy, and then like told Shannon, I was like, you know, you need to go back to the hospital. As much as she hated that, it was just killing me. Just stress, anxiety, all that. She went in, and they gave her like 5 or 6 blood transfusions. And at that point, luckily I forced her, and knowing her, she was just like, well, don't bother to slow down while you kick me out the door, kind of thing, because the whole COVID thing is still in effect. And I think she felt a little abandoned by that, but I really just wanted to see her pull through. And luckily I did, because she wasn't doing all that well, and they got her stabilized. She was in there for a week, and we decided that it would be best for her to stay with her mom and her dad, because her dad's a doctor, her mom's a retired nurse. I'm thinking this is great because she'll be able to keep an eye on her, take her to doctor's appointments and all that. But when she was in the hospital that last time around, they told her that she had a 65% chance of living 3 months, and we were all still just in disbelief. Couldn't believe it. It was like, no. She freaked out, called me, had me come up there. She was pissed. Had her mom talk to the doctors and all that jazz. And we're just like, nah, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. They told you that well over a year ago that you were going to pass, kind of thing. And you know, we kept hopeful, and they were trying to line up hospice. And so they released her. She denied the hospice. She went to her parents, and I was just kind of focused on work, thinking everything was going to be cool. And man, I saw her once a week, and the night that I was supposed to meet up with her, she for her dad's kind of birthday dinner, and I just knew something was up. Didn't hear from her because we texted every day, called, all that. Went and saw her as much as I could, and she just she refused to go to the hospital. Not that I really look back on everything and know that we did everything we could. I'm not even sure taking her to the hospital that day could have done anything. I don't know. But she passed that night, and since then, it had been just personally those shock of this can't be right. This isn't reality. just all kinds of emotions going on, lots of crying, disbelief, anger that it's kind of happened. And then came I wanted to be there for every little aspect of it. The picking out of the coffin, the just everything, every little part. I was there with her parents and brother, and it was, even to this day, it's still difficult to kind of pull out of, as fresh as it is, to kind of pull out that funk and not miss her, and to push forward, because I know she would have wanted me to push forward. And some of the things that I was working on, I was showing her, just kind of like some courses and stuff. She had mentioned that she was proud, and I don't know. It's just, at this point, it's kind of back down to me. It's not kind of, it is. Normally I could call Shannon up or even text and be like, this client, da da da. Like one of the last evenings we talked, it was kind of like, do you remember anything about what these people had ordered in the past, kind of thing. I had a lot of good memories, and she was there just through thick and thin. No matter what, she was just down for whatever. Even though she was lazy at times. She was kind of lazy, but I mean, she trusted in whatever decisions I had made, and was along for the ride. And now it's kind of solo again. Even though there's lots of blessings that I should be counting, from the shop that we have to the automatic, I never really, I guess you can't really plan for these things, but when you get a bigger shop and tie yourself into a 2-year lease, it's crazy that there were all these hopes and aspirations, which are still deep within inside me, and I want to pursue, but it's like, as one person, what the amount of bills that are around here are just not meant for one person. To be honest, I kind of wanted, and we had talked about it, talked to Shannon and I a few months ago. I had talked about just cramming everything back in the garage, even if that meant selling the automatic. But we kind of were like, well, let's pump the brakes and just kind of push forward. And we've kind of been scraping by, which is a perfect segue. I know you guys helped us out quite a bit last time. But to be honest, I don't really know that I can continue to keep up as one individual and hold on to this shop, which means until I start getting some help in here, and funeral expenses, medical expenses. I have set up a GoFundMe. It's down in the description. Anything you guys can do to help would be greatly appreciated. And just kind of what I mean by moving forward is I don't really know what that is. I really don't know if that's continuing to grow this and hopefully finding the right people at the right time kind of thing, or if some of these courses I've been putting together on the back end are going to help make sure that not that this dream is going to die, and me continuing to upload videos, not that that's going to go away, but my focus definitely has shifted to, if you're familiar with monetization and YouTube, you really don't get paid much on YouTube unless you're just getting hundreds of thousands of views. And what I've done with this channel is really just kind of as we're going, this is how I print things, just trying to help the community out. And at this point, I have to really switch my focus over to things that are going to make sure I'm putting food on the table and not homeless. So I don't know. And it takes a lot personally for me to ask for help. And I know I've put in, and just kind of out of the kindness of my heart, I've enjoyed talking to a lot of you guys and helping you out. I just, my back's kind of against the wall, again, asking for help. Definitely isn't easy, and I definitely could use some help to kind of keep all this alive. And I'm certainly not, I want to keep it going. And I've had plans in the works where it's just like I couldn't put my full attention to it. Now I can, and not the way that I had hoped for, in the sense that, with Shannon passing, that part of my life as a caretaker is kind of done. And do expect to see great things. I will bring you guys along for the ride. Whatever that ride may be, it's really been difficult kind of getting the camera out and not being myself to an extent, rather than I've enjoyed the positivity and kind of the sarcasms and all that's come along with what this channel is, rather than it just being, I've thought about doing a video where it's just like, Shannon's desk is empty, Michelle's desk is empty. It's just me, and it's certainly a lot for one person. It also gets lonely quite a bit, in which and even with everything being so fresh with Shannon having passed, I find myself just reaching out to people and taking advantage of any help or time that anyone's offering, to be like, hey, do you want to come hang out and talk? Even though sometimes just talking about it is overwhelming, because it kind of re-agitates all those fresh feelings when it's kind of like you got a scab, it's just forming, and then you talk about it and it's like scratching at it. But I do think it needs to be something, at least in my life, that is talked about until there's a certain amount of comfortability with it. I feel comfortable talking about it, and not that I would ever want the feelings of that loss to necessarily go away. I think they'll always be there, but not for it to be such a drain towards where I want to sleep 18 hours out of the day. Not that I'm sleeping 18 hours out of the day, but I have been sleeping a lot more, because it's just sometimes the motivation's there. Today I'm feeling pretty damn motivated. I've gotten quite a bit done. Even as soon as I get off the stream, I'm going to go and do some printing, get caught up with a few things. And it's difficult. I don't know. I have a plan, but also this past year and a half, 16 months, 15 months, however long it's been, it's even been difficult just kind of pushing forward even when Shannon was around. And now it's just, all right, it's game time. You've been there even more than most people would have, from the picking the cup, just all that stuff, you know? So what to expect? More tutorials, right? Vlogging when I can. I'll bring you guys along for the ride, but it's going to take a hot minute for me to kind of, even just in the space of it just being me, really vlogging and it being just kind of a good vibe, rather than it being some sort of mopey thing, I guess is the best way to explain it. And then there's other things that I'm working on, just kind of like some training courses and whatnot that I've actually really enjoyed doing. But it's also a whole new avenue that's quite foreign to me. But I think in translation, there's this book that I've been reading called Sell Like Crazy. And I think this might be helpful to you guys out there as well. If you're trying to figure out how to sell your services, it kind of dives into how to utilize the internet to its fullest potential, even for small businesses like ourselves, and some of the psychology that goes into it. I definitely would look into video sales letters, and so I'm going to fuss around with that and see how that helps even on the service side of things, because ultimately my goal is to really kind of get a crew back in here and get to the point towards where I'm just kind of expediting everybody. And we were there with the crew and everything, but now it's completely different. I'm not having sex with the girl that answers the phone that was essentially willing to work for a roof over her head and love. Now it's finding people that need to make money and being able to pay that money, increasing prices and all that stuff. So I'm going to go back and read some of y'all's comments. And I do appreciate all y'all's support during this time. So I went to the therapy session after Shannon had passed, and my therapist kept telling me, she's like, "You're holding your emotions back." When I wasn't around her, it was like, no, I'm not. As a matter of fact, it's just like so many things I'm feeling. It's overwhelming. Just even talking about what's kind of gone on. It's like I can feel my face wanting to just flood up, but when it comes to crying in front of people, I know I've done it before on camera, not like intentionally with the news. And that was just like suddenly because I had dropped Shannon off at the hospital, and I kind of needed y'all to be there and like to hear just support, because they're I don't know, at that moment I didn't really feel like turning to anyone else. But I'll go through and read some more of your comments. Let's see what we got here. I'm going to try and read as many of these as possible. Let's see. Tristano, I hope that's how you say it. Yo, Mikey, how you doing? Hope you are in a good place, my man. I'm in a better place. I can't say a good place. I'm definitely in a better place. Still kind of in a place where it's like there's this kind of stuck in the middle of feeling good and all the other feelings that kind of come with someone very close to you passing. It just looked like we got shout outs to each other. Danielle, I appreciate it. Definitely have needed quite a bit of those lately. Got some more shout outs. Denise, how are you doing? Thanks for joining me. Stay strong, brother, says Josh. I'm doing my best. It's not easy staying strong, but and sometimes you got to be able to not necessarily be a rock. You just kind of allow yourself to those vulnerabilities. I can't even talk right now. Let's go, brother. You got this. I think I may have read that. I don't know. Rye Beats says, hey, Matt. Sorry, I pulled up Liberties first. Hey, Matt, I was about to go live. You're more than welcome to go live whenever you feel like it. I'm not... by the way, I'm going to try and do the 7 o'clock lives again, even if it's just a talk. So we got some shout outs. T-Town Shirts, how you doing? I think that's towards me. Michael, love your videos. Learned so much. How are you? Thank you. And I'm hanging in there. I'm doing about as well as anyone can do with the changes that have gone on in life. Although probably right after this, I'll go cry. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I should and print shirts. I don't know. I'm going to print some shirts for sure. Master Graphics cheating on me. I thought I was your so it looks like a lot of you guys are just kind of having fun with one another. And I'm going to try my best to be a little more active in your lives as well. Although I know you guys have been kind of pulling back too. I've noticed a little bit of a pullback in some of these screen printing channels, and I know at the end of the day it comes down to making money, and YouTube is a fun creative outlet. Even though there's opportunities out there with the YouTube channel, it's not exactly something that's at the size of our channels that are going to make or break you, whether you're on weekly or uploading daily. Super new. Hello, Matt. Hope you're well, mate. Thinking of you. Thank you. I hope you're doing well. Also, I'm just hanging in there. And Bad Brad, how you doing, buddy? I'm not even sure if I said hello. Elroy says family 4. Not sure what that means. The trials and tribulations of life can take us to the highest highs and the darkest, deepest lows. We all grieve in our own way. Loss is hard. Do whatever you need to maintain sanity. I'll say that's probably one of the hardest things. Is there's all these different thoughts and emotions that just sometimes just kind of pop in, turn between what I need to do around here, but also the feelings of, man, it's familiar, but also at the same time it's different because a lot has changed. A lot has changed, and just kind of living with that fact, I guess, or getting used to it. It's like the new norm. Like when COVID hit, it was like, here's your new norm. That's what I feel like. It's a new norm. It's not a new norm I wanted to happen, but it's the new norm, and there's nothing I can do about it. So just kind of going along with it and just riding the wave, so to speak. So sorry, Matt, didn't know that. You and my family. Well, I thank you. Yeah, I mean, again, I haven't been on a whole lot lately, and have shared it on social media, shared it on the channel. And I know sometimes it takes a moment to circle back, especially if you're seeing that I'm not as active. You might think about, hey, I wonder what's going on with Matt and Shannon and everybody. And then you might circle around to the channel and be like, oh crap, I didn't know that happened. Great to hear your voice and see your face. You look good. Stay strong. You're in our thoughts. I appreciate that, Christopher. I don't think anybody's mentioned anything about the new haircut here. I think I kind of held on to cutting my hair because Shannon really liked it. To me, it was getting to be a pain in the butt. I feel like I look 10 years younger without the long hair. As much as I liked it, it's just, the things you'll do to make a significant other happy. And then I'm sure there's other people who are like, dude, you cut your hair. Why'd you cut your hair? I liked your long hair. I liked it too, but sometimes I let it grow long and I get tired of it. I don't like taking a shower at night and the next day I wake up and it's still moist. And then some days it's just like, and other days it's just like greasy looking. And anyhow, darn bug flying around. God will set you up on the path that He has for you, Matt. Thank you, Scooby-Doo. I think so too. I really admire your courage to do this and that you're pushing forward. I really appreciate that. And, I don't really, and it's not that I don't have an option. Obviously, there is an option. There's other things that I can do. But this is what I enjoy doing. And have missed it and will miss Shannon being a part of that. But I'm also looking forward to seeing, sorry, I haven't even talked this much in a long time, even though you would think that I have. My voice is starting to go a little hoarse because I've just really have been kind of not necessarily keeping to myself, but phones, I've unhooked the phone, so I don't even have to deal with stuff like that right now, so I can kind of concentrate. And it's kind of been, aside from having the kids this weekend, I've really kind of been not really talking a whole lot. It's kind of like, it was a little overwhelming there for a little bit with the amount of people that are reaching out. As much of a blessing as it is, it also certainly can be overwhelming when you're having all these feelings, and then also people are like, hey, what can I do for you? When you're like, I don't know, talk, hug me, high five me. Anyways, I have no idea what I guess this is you guys just kind of talking back and forth. What number do we need to hit for you to keep going? To be honest, I'm going to make it keep going regardless. Whatever you guys can help out with. There's no set particular number. Everything helps. It's just a matter of really taking some of the load off of my plate financially after this funeral and everything. And if anything, this past year was there wasn't any profit made. It was all just paying the bills and keeping things alive. We were penny pinching there for 1 month. I remember we kind of emptied our big old 5-gallon jug of pennies out, and it was like, all right, we need to go grocery shopping, and sold off a few things, like sold a vehicle, stuff like that. And I'm a survivor when it comes down to it, and it's also hard for me to ask. But if I had to put a number out there, go over to the GoFundMe. If I can reach that goal, which is 20,000, that will allow me to be able to not like stress so much and start getting people on board. Not to say that I have to hit that number to make things happen, but it will just be a slower process, and changes might have to happen, whether that's letting the shop go and kind of starting over and using a manual. But I don't know, to be honest. We'll see as this thing goes along, and I'm up for the challenge. Again, every little bit helps, so I'll be fine in the long run. What you can do is share. If you're tight on cash yourself, you can just go back and watch our videos. Maybe even purchase some of our $10 templates. But really, the GoFundMe is going to be the fastest and the one that takes the least amount of fees out, and is pretty much immediately. So, thank you, Arnold. Arnold Prince, haircut looks good. Thank you. I need to brush it. I was out there sweating it out today. I was getting some screens done. It had been a while since I had even touched screens with everything that's been going on. That my emulsion went bad, and had to kind of look into a different type of emulsion because the one that I was using, they no longer offer. So I'm trying out this Ulano trifecta emulsion, which seems to be okay. Can you use supplies? I'm actually okay on supplies for now. I'm just purchased some supplies, enough to do what orders I currently have in queue, and I've got some embroidery stuff lined up. I think I have about 4 or 5 orders in the queue that I need to get done, and then lots of other quotes and stuff I've been sending out. So, and then once I get that stuff taken care of, the core stuff that I've been working on has been helping out quite a bit. More of a passive income kind of thing, towards where I'm not like as stressed, but it's still under development to the point towards where it's like eventually it will make a difference where it's I'm not having to be a one-man show over here, which, I know a lot of you guys are a one-person show, but I'm kind of this one-person show that's been thrown into the expense of what 4 people should be putting in and helping bring in income. So there's that. I don't really know how to put it aside from that. If I was in the garage, it'd be a whole nother story. I'd be like, I'm good. But the thought of moving all this stuff and kind of letting this be the end of it is, it's not a great feeling, which isn't going to be the case. But, well, guys, I'm going to get off. It is 8 o'clock. I'm going to feed myself, and then I'm going to get back after printing some shirts. Again, thank you so much for all the love and support, and just know that Shannon loved you guys and loves you guys. And if you ever want to go back, obviously, there's the videos when she was around, and I even go back and look at them at times, and I'm sure I'll continue to go back because I definitely will miss her. Do just very much so. And again, if you want to help support me at this point, the shop, it's weird saying normally I'm like us, we kind of thing, and at this point it's your boy over here that you're supporting, making sure that not necessarily that I'm going to be out on the street, but I want to be able to, the goal, just to keep the dream alive of helping y'all out, to be able to continue to do this and scale it back up, scale the business back up. I don't want to have to just turn my focus to just grinding, and that's just kind of it for the channel. In other words, I still want to, having had a crew, allowed free time to just tape stuff, and then later in the evening be able to go back and edit it and be like, here's what we did today, or here's a topic I think that's interesting, and right now it's too much. So, all right. Well, I'm going to get out of here. I don't know what else to say, to be honest. Aside from thanking you guys again, I really do, from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate all y'all's support, and just know that this isn't the end of it. It will take me a moment to adjust, and I'm sure it'll be an adjustment period for you guys too. Like, just not seeing Shannon's face and it's back down to me doing things, but I'm going to bring y'all along for the victory story, I guess. I don't know how else to put it aside from turning things around, and just rather than letting this be a defeat, it be a kind of the next chapter in, maybe even taking it to the next level. Another automatic at some point, bigger shop, who knows? But happy to have y'all along for the ride, and thanks for all the support. And again, the GoFundMe is down in the link in the description. I hope y'all have a good evening. Sorry to bring y'all this news, but I am happy that I came on, and been thinking about doing it. Just hadn't finally kind of feeling at the point where I can actually get on and talk about some of this stuff. So now I feel like I'm rambling. I'm going to get out of here. Y'all have a good one, and we'll see you in the next one, guys. How do I get out of this?